Hi everyone, I hope you're really well. This is another decluttering video today. This is number 3. I've already done my primers, foundations, concealers, and then my eyeshadow, eyeliner and mascara. So today it's the turn of kind of blush and bronzer. And then after this, I think I'm going to do lip products, and then I'm not sure what after that. So let's see how I got on with decluttering my blush collection. Okay, so there is my little collection of mainly blushes. I've got a couple of palettes here which you will have seen in my last video, but because they've got blush in there, I thought I may as well include them because I want to be able to swatch things side by side. I've also got a few little sampley things and my most recent purchase, which is this BECCA Blushed with Light palette. So I'm not sure where to begin. I've got some real oldies here that I used to wear all the time. Maybe let's start in order of which I think I got them. I hope the lighting is okay. I am messing around with artificial light because I was getting a lot of shadows trying to do it using my normal lighting. Fingers crossed this lighting will be okay. So this is one of the first blushes I ever consistently used. The one I used before this I don't own anymore. It was a Calvin Klein one and I think it was called Desire or Flushed with Desire, something like that, which I got from Fragrance Direct, and I used to wear that every day, and it was quite a deep dark pink. And then I run out, I went to repurchase it and they reckon it was the same colour, but it definitely wasn't. So I found myself in the situation of thinking I needed to get another blush. And I thought, well, everyone goes on about the Bourjois little rouge pots, and this was the one I got. This is in number 48, which is Ashes of Roses. Sorry about any mucky packaging, but this is stuff that I use. So as you can see, it's kind of got that weird film over the top of it, which I could probably do with scraping off, which I think has come from using my powder brush on my face first and it picking up maybe some foundation. This colour I really liked. I'm going to try and get quite a heavy swatch, and I think we will go for, should we go for the arm? I think that worked okay. I want to see how similar it is to some of the other colours I've got, because I do really like it, but I just don't know if it's a bit similar to something else. So I'm not sure if I'm going to hang on to this or not, so I'm just going to pop it to one side for a minute. Next, I have this little sample, which has lasted me ages actually, and this is Benefit's Rockateur, which I feel is one of their really popular blushes. I think I got this in a gift pack, Christmas 2015. I obviously don't use it all the time. You can still see some of the embossing on there of the name, so it has lasted quite a long time. I do quite like it, but it's not my favourite shade in the world. I tend to prefer something a lot more pink. I just think pink toned things look a lot nicer on me. So that's Rockateur, which as you can see is kind of orangey pink really. Not my favourite. Next I've got this teeny tiny little Frat Boy from the Balm, but I absolutely love this colour. Not the easiest thing to use when it's in this kind of packaging, but it was only a tiny sample. I think I got this at the same time as my Put a Lid on It, the sample that I am still using. So let's have a look, see how this one looks. It's funny, I always plan on swatching these side by side just to see how similar the colours are, because unless it's like a texture thing and I want to wear a certain texture product, if they're the same colour, I don't think there's much point in hanging on to them really. At least they're different so far, but yeah, I definitely prefer these kinds of colours. Got one of these Bourjois Aqua blushes, which I have done a review on, and I did enjoy using at the time. I tend to prefer using these kind of products in the summer. You have to be really careful with how much of this you use. This is in the shade number 2. Hopefully you can see that. It is shining a bit with the light. Cocori Corail. Trying only to get a small amount. There we go. So again, it's just amping up the orange factor. It is pretty orangey, but I felt on the cheeks it was actually a bit more pinky than how it's showing up here. I would say on camera all of these colours are true to life. Okay, what should we go for next? I've got this Kiko Velvet Touch Cream Blush, and this is in number 3. Can't seem to see a name on it anywhere. I think this came from one of my first Latest in Beauties, but really pretty colour. Doesn't get a huge amount of action. I think I worry about cream products disturbing my makeup. Oh my god, it's not going back down. I'm gonna have to push it. Oh, phew, that was a close one. Right. It's actually much more corally than I remember. In fact, I think I remember the name having the word coral in it. But so far, I'm pretty pleased with the fact that all of these are justifiably different colours, because I do really love blush, but I was worrying that I was getting a lot of samey stuff. I'm actually not, so I'm quite pleased with myself. Right, what should we go for next? I think my 2 Tarte products came next, so we'll go with the Empower Flower palette. I'll have to hold it a certain way so that you don't get any blinding from the light that's directly shining on it. Hopefully that's going to work. So this blush, I can't actually remember the name of, and it was on a film that was sat over the top. I will look it up and I will let you know on screen what this blush is called. See, is this going to be similar to any of the ones I've got so far? Doesn't look like it, which is good. I'm actually really surprised. I thought I was going to have some similar colours, but I'm doing pretty well so far. I'd say that's the most sort of dusky rose out of all of them, really, so far. So next I've got the other Tarte palette, which is the Empower Flower palette. This one I can fold over, so I'm not going to have to blind you with the mirror. So I did talk about these palettes in my last video, if you want to see swatches of some of these colours in my decluttering of my eye stuff. I'm thinking this looks potentially quite similar. So you've got Trustworthy, Empowering and Park Avenue Princess. Let's have a look. I'll move my arm down a little bit. Let's go with Trustworthy first. I'm trying to get quite heavy swatches. Ooh. Those 2 Tarte ones are quite similar. This one is looking more brownish in tone next to this one, which is a bit more pinky, which is funny because when you look at it, God, I'm making a right mess of this. When you look at it, I would have said that if anything, this one was the more pinky, don't you think? That one definitely looks more pink than that. But when you look at it on the swatch, this one I think is coming out way more pink. Similar, but a bit more pinky. So this is obviously very pink looking. Question is it going to be similar to anything else that I've got? On camera it looks quite similar to that, but in real life this is definitely more sort of peachy orange in tone. No, I think I'm still pretty good. Look at this. Bourjois down here is just absolutely going, ah, really bright. I'm being quite heavy-handed with the swatches, so I'm getting quite a bit of fallout, but I'm not worried about that. I just want to be able to see all of the colours. And whilst I'm here, I'll also do the bronzer as well. I'm running out of Balm room. This bronzer I'm terrified of because it's sparkly, and I'm really hoping that it's going to pick up on camera. Can you see how shimmery this is? I feel like I'm having to build it up quite a lot, which is actually making me not so nervous of it anymore. It is quite shimmery. I am rapidly running out of room. I think I'm going to have to switch over to the other arm because I've still got a few to talk to you about. Okay, as I've just done one bronzer, let's see if we can fill a little bit of space next to it with Benefit's Hoola, which I also got at the same time as this one in that gift pack. And as you can see, I don't really use it that much. I do kind of hear a lot of good vibes about it though. People say, you know, it's either this or NARS Laguna that they tend to go for because it's a quite natural looking bronzer, not too muddy or orange, but it's obviously matte, whereas this one is shimmery. I should bronze a bit more really. Maybe I will in the summer. So you can see that they are pretty different. This one's definitely matte and that is definitely very shimmery. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to switch arms now because I have run out of room. So on to what is generally the blush that I use most of the time, and that is NARS Impassioned, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. It's my first NARS blush and I absolutely love it. It's just the prettiest dusty rose colour, so I'll be interested to see how this swatches against some of the other things. I'm trying not to lean my arm down on this cover because all the blush is coming off. Okay, see how pretty that is? It's one of these shades that I think works all year round. It can look quite wintry, I think, if you did like a grey eye look. But if you did quite minimal makeup, maybe in the spring and summer, it can also look very kind of summery and just fresh and gorgeous looking. I've not actually owned it during the springtime. I only got it November-ish last year, I think, maybe a bit earlier, but it was definitely during the cooler months, so I'm looking forward to wearing this when the weather is a little bit more spring summery. So how does it compare? This is quite a good way to do it actually, because I can literally hold them next to each other. They look really similar on screen, but this is definitely more pink. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, I would say that's a pretty unique colour as well, so that's fantastic. And then the last one I've got is this BECCA palette, which I just got in the sale from Space NK. It is their Blushed with Light palette, and you've got Wisteria, Songbird and Snapdragon in here. And I was kind of going with the theory that, okay, it was half price, I couldn't resist it, but also there were colours in here that I didn't believe I actually already had. So now we're about to find out if I was right or not. So are you ready? Just cover up the hefty mirror that's in here. I know this looks quite similar to some I've got already. This, again, it's not really a colour I tend to put on. Maybe I should start trying to wear it a bit more. I was really attracted to this colour here. So let's do some swatching. We'll do that one first. And I'm just going to move it slightly off camera so that the mirror, hopefully, there we go. So I don't want to be blinding you guys because I've got quite a serious light going on up here right now. It's got a shimmer running through it as well, which I think is really nice. It just adds a little bit more, I don't know, definition, life or something to the cheeks. But it's absolutely beautiful. I'm a bit scared of it because I'm a bit worried about being too heavy-handed with it. But again, I think it's one that's pretty different. I mean, it's looking quite similar to, was that Frat Boy? No, that's the Kiko one. That's this one. It's quite similar to that, quite corally, but it's different enough for me to be happy with because this is definitely more orange, sort of corally coloured, whereas this is more sort of on the red end of the scale. And then we'll do this one. Oh, that swatched quite well. It's very similar to Rockateur actually. I think I prefer the look of Songbird because it's got that slight shimmer to it, whereas Rockateur looks quite flat. I do actually have quite a few of these sort of toned colours, which I just don't tend to reach for, so I really ought to push myself out of my comfort zone and try these colours. They are different enough though, I think, because the others are matte blushes, whereas this is a shimmer. Right, let's go for the last one then, which I think was Wisteria. Now this is going to be it. Is this going to be that different? Really nice kind of everyday shade. Sorry if these swatches are absolutely rubbish, but it's actually quite tricky to do, and I am still learning. Okay, the moment of truth. It's quite similar to Frat Boy. Very similar actually. That's Frat Boy there. But Frat Boy was only a sample, so I'm not too worried about that. And I did really like Frat Boy, so I think that's worked out really well. So, I don't think I've done too badly really. I think there's enough difference there for me to feel comfortable with pretty much keeping everything, which I honestly didn't think was going to be the case. The stuff that is similar, like Frat Boy for example, is only a teeny tiny one, so I know that when this runs out it's pretty much the same colour as Wisteria anyway, which was a really pleasant surprise because, like I said, I don't often dig out all of my makeup stuff at the same time to compare it, so that was a really pleasant surprise. If anything, I was expecting to get rid of this little Bourjois one. I've got nothing that's the same colour as it, So if I want to go for something really quite pinky, then I'll know to go for this one. So I'm actually really happy with all of how that's worked out. I've got a really nice mixture of shimmery and matte blushes. I've got some different textures to try during the warmer months, like for example the Aqua blush and the Kiko Velvet Touch Cream Stick Blush. So it's all pretty exciting really. I think what I'll need to do is start putting some of these on some kind of weekly or bi-weekly rotation, just so that I'm using them and just to get myself out of my comfort zone of always sticking to the same kinds of things. Not exactly the most successful declutter in the world, but I am actually really happy with my little collection here because I don't think there's too much here that's too similar. It's all pretty different, so yay me. Okay, so as you can see, I didn't do particularly well, but like I said, I think I feel pretty happy with the collection that I've got. It's small but perfectly formed. I think I've got a really good mixture of textures for different times of year. I've also got some mattes and some shimmers as well. It was really nice to be able to compare what I did actually have. So that was kind of more of a blush collection video. So apologies, didn't do very well in terms of decluttering, but like I said, I don't actually have that many and I am a bit addicted to blush and I'm pretty sure I will use most of it. Some of it was also samples as well, so I know that when they run out, then I've got pretty similar colours as backups anyway in full sizes. So that's really exciting. I know which ones are similar to each other now. So I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, just give me a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to subscribe to get alerted about new content from me, just hit the subscribe button that I will pop up here somewhere and you'll be notified of new content as and when it gets uploaded, which at the moment is every Thursday and every Sunday. And if you're into finding out how I'm getting on with my 2017 goal setting videos, which is around weight loss and being more organised and being a bit more active, that kind of thing, I'm planning on uploading those videos probably every Friday or maybe every other Friday. I think it may well depend on how much stuff I've got to talk about. Not sure yet. So if you are new to the channel and want to subscribe and any of that sounds interesting, it would be absolutely wonderful to have you. And I will just see you in my next video. I hope you're all really well and I will see you again soon. Bye!